Welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer show. This is a show where we talk about stuff, play you some music, and encourage you to be creative. This season, we are exploring the art of being human. We want to say thank you to our patrons who support us each month. If you want to know more about that, visit us on patreon.com/Chasing Ebenezer. For more information about our musical endeavors, visit chasingebenezer.com. We hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer show. I'm Heidi, and this is Benjamin, who let me
put lip gloss on me. I don't tend to do.
It's a test. It's a test.
And guess what?
I wanted to see if he thought my Vanilla Dew tasted like vanilla.
It indeed tasted like Play-Doh.
Your lips are all glossy now.
Well, I had to match you. I got to match you. And this is our beautiful cat, Punky. We love her
18.
very much.
She's 18 and still kicking.
Still kicking.
So I don't know how long she'll stay, but
We're grateful
happy
for
and purring
every
at you.
single day that we have her. So, yeah. Big thank you to our patrons who have been supporting us, who encourage us, and just by the fact that we have, like I've said this before, the fact that we have patrons helps us feel encouraged. I think everyone should have patrons for their life. I really do. I really do. So I promised, and I'm going to say we have a big announcement to kind of let you all know about. Heidi and I have been slowly and quietly working on a few recordings of us just as a duo.
And you've been doing it to kind of prep for our full
next
album.
full album with the full
to
band.
kind of get some practice about.
Because I'm learning to do this on my own.
Yeah, this is the first time you'd be doing the engineering by yourself. So
so we've been working on some songs, and we're going to be releasing a single soon, which we hope to have it done.
Oops, she's caught.
Sooner rather than later.
She's caught on my sweater.
Is she okay?
Don't mind us out there.
On us. There we go. All right, you're good. You good? Okay. Okay, we're good. So the song that we're going to release is a song called City. I think we've played it on the show before.
I'm sure we have.
At some point, but it's one that I love opening with it because it's just, there's a lot of room to jam to it, and I'm not singing the first parts of it, so I feel less stress when we perform it. But I'm looking forward to releasing that to you all, and hopefully we've got a few other songs that we've recorded that we hope to turn into a little EP soon. So that's our...
Watch your patron box for those.
Yeah, because patrons, you will obviously get this for free, and you will get it first. So if you want to get it first and you're not a patron, go to patreon.com and sign up and pick whatever dollar amount you want to support us with. So yeah. I am excited about the fact that Punky's sitting here. She might stay here the whole show. I'm excited. Again, by the time this airs, I will have already done this, but I get to see my parents next week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really excited about that. I haven't seen my parents in about a year, and I'm going to be flying out and going to be doing that, hanging out with my folks. And you're excited because you get a break from me for a week.
I'll be sad.
I know.
After like a little bit, I'll be sad. I am excited that I'm going to use that time to try to finish up the last editing phase of my book that I've been working on for feels like a zillion years. So get that done, kind of use that time, and Punky and I'll just be chilling.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I am just feeling chill.
Feeling chill. Is that how you're feeling your humanity right now? You're just feeling chill?
Feeling chill right now.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm a big fan of feeling chill. It's good when that happens. Cherish those moments. It's good. I am... my humanity, I'm feeling my humanity. I've lost some weight over the past few months, and it's kind of fun to put on clothes you haven't put on in a while.
And you're like, I'm swimming.
Like, oh my gosh, like I'm wearing, I got this shirt a long time ago, and it used to be a lot bigger on me, and now it just feels comfortable.
Smaller on you.
So
you mean it used to be
a lot
smaller.
I used to be a lot bigger in my clothes. It's a lot smaller. So anyway, I'm feeling...
Good job. You've done really good.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed
happy about
with you.
it. I'm very happy about it. Apparently you're happy with me too. So we talked about the past a couple weeks ago. We talked about the present last week. And this week we get to talk about the future. So what comes to your mind when you think about the future? What are images that come to your mind? Think about when you were maybe a kid. How did you envision like the future looking? You can say maybe because we grew up in like the late 1900s, I guess. Was what you call it. I don't know. I get confused between the 20th and 21st century. So I didn't want to say that. She's laughing at me right now if you're just listening.
Yeah, but you're right. We did grow up in the late 1900s.
Well, right. So
it sounds so old,
and all these movies came out depicting like Back to the Future 2 is like the standard everybody uses. Like there would be hoverboards and all these crazy things, and some of them have come true, some of them have not. But how did you envision the future?
I just envisioned I'd be an awesome adult.
And what does that mean?
It means that I would just... I think I just didn't realize I was as messed up and have any coping. I guess I envisioned a perfect version of myself, and I did. Okay, I did the very first job that I ever wanted to have.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember what it is?
I think so.
What do you think it is?
Taco Bell?
Oh no, that was much later.
Oh, okay.
No. The very first job that I wanted to have was to be, I think I wanted to be Sleeping Beauty in the Electric Parade.
Oh, that's a good ambition.
And be married to the prince. And so we would be in the Electric Parade every night.
Okay.
And live like, that was my career, my very first career desire that I had. So, you know, a little bit of an idealized version. So I didn't think I wasn't thinking about technology much. I mean, or sci-fi. That really, I think I just didn't know, and so but it was more like who I would be. I just thought I would be a much more put together type of a person and much more just so yeah, when you grow up and realize you have as many issues as you do, that it can feel like. So anyway.
Yeah, mine was a little different. I envisioned. This is gonna sound so narcissistic.
Oh, I can't wait.
I grew up in the evangelical church in the 90s, where there was a lot of talk about the end of the world, and so I envisioned a doomsday scenario. Where I would end up being the hero somehow.
Ooh,
that was what I envisioned.
So you're Rick Grimes is basically what you are.
Everybody wants to be Rick. Or Daryl. Yeah. Let me have my Walking Dead moment for a minute. Yes. Yeah, so that's kind of how I kind of envisioned it. And I also grew up on a lot of action movies, a lot of science fiction and all of that. So I could imagine those things pretty easily growing up.
Yeah.
So that's how I thought about it. How did you envision the future when you were a kid? Like, how did 6-year-old you imagine life would be like for however old you are you? Think about that.
I think for most of us, life doesn't generally turn out the way that we think it will.
No,
or even if we
not.
have something that we think it doesn't look the way that we thought it would. And so I think that's just part of being human is we have these dreams and hopes and things, and then oftentimes they just don't look the way we thought they would. So.
Right. Well, and I think that as a kid, we project the best case scenario onto the future, and then when we become adults, we project the worst case onto the future.
True. Yeah. We can't.
You know? So how do you envision the future now, honey?
It depends on the day.
Okay.
Depends on the moment. So I am trying to make plans for the future, but be okay with right now, which is very hard to do. Mm-hmm. So, yep, the world keeps changing too. So I think that we're constantly having to like reevaluate.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
It feels like you have to start over like every 6 months.
Yeah, we've all keep starting over with things because the world keeps changing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I find like there's two different types of futures. Like we think about like the immediate future. So like I think about how am I going to prepare to preach this Sunday? And I imagine how that's going to go. And usually I imagine it's going to go terribly. Or I think about, those milestone things that are coming up that are planned. I usually project a worst case scenario. When it comes to thinking about like when you and I turn elderly, and you can pick whatever age you want for that, I find that I kind of immediately run back to short-term future, not long-term future.
Like you don't want to think about it?
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. Huh.
Or I just naturally, my mind doesn't naturally go there because I like the idea of having just possibility that doesn't have any concreteness to it. So, we can imagine into the future and think about how things are going to be, and that usually reveals where our emotional state is in the present and the here and now. But like planning for the future is something that we're invited to do. Like our work, some jobs even like have it to where like the hours you work now, a portion of your money goes out so that when you're not working anymore, you're able to be financially taken care of.
You're talking about like retirement.
Retirement.
Sure.
Yeah, planning for the future.
Planning for the future now.
Right.
But we still have no control over the future.
Exactly. So like what are like ways that you do plan for the future that are helpful?
Well, we're all going to die. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But I would like to the best of my ability, to be able to be active.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't guarantee. There's no guarantee about getting illness. But you can, for example, do the best you can now to take care of your health, which can prevent certain diseases or things from happening in the future.
Right.
So there's no guarantee with anything. We all know this, but it's like, okay, if I want to be a Christmas tree farmer and sell Christmas trees, well, I have to plant those trees years before I want to sell them.
Right.
You can't control if there's a major disaster that wipes out your farm.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's what is in your heart to do, you have to plan for that thing, because a lot of things take time. They take growth over seasons and years. So it probably just depends what specific area you're talking about. Right.
Well, I mean, I think even in the area of creativity, for example, like recording our next full-length album, I'm having to invest time now in learning how to use the equipment, mix, and go through that process so that I can do that. And I'm not just left. It's not that I won't be beating my head against the wall when I'm recording our next full length. It's the fact that I will have less of a concussion because I won't do it as much.
Sure. Well, and a lot of things are like that, where oftentimes the prep work makes or breaks a project or makes or breaks something. But if you just like we know this from recording in a studio. If you've got it rehearsed.
Yep.
You're saving time and money when you go to actually record, because you're ready to go.
Right.
I'm realizing that more and more with certain paintings. If I get my outline and I plan the painting first, versus I just start and have no rhyme or reason, it takes way longer. My mom was a huge taught me about like with writing, like outlining and your different topics, sentences, that kind of thing, that build a structure in, so that when you're going to actually fill in the details, you've got like that structure in.
Right.
So prep work is in essence trusting that there's going to be work after the preparation.
Yeah. That's true.
So, and sometimes we don't need that. Sometimes we need to just be able to just be free flowing, and so it takes being aware of what those things are.
Yeah. Well, and I think that it's like there are things that you can prepare for as much as it depends on you. Like, because life does not, if you're watching this, life hasn't turned out as you have planned it. I guarantee it. But it's like, okay, how can I, with the best wisdom I have, prepare for things? And
to hold things loosely, that if they don't work out, it doesn't destroy your total sense of worth and value and joy. And that's the thing that I'm really trying to work at cultivating, is those inner qualities of rest and humility and joy, those kind of things, because those things can be there in pain or good.
Yeah.
But but the circumstances can not be guaranteed.
It's true.
So it's hard to do.
It's hard to do. And I think that a lot of us don't like to think about the idea of getting older, of dying. We don't like to think about it. And so we live in denial a lot. I know for me, like when I hit 40, well, hit my late 30s, I realized, oh, my metabolism's going to start slowing down. When I didn't have to think about the possibility of having a heart attack, in my 20s and 30s, because that's like an anomaly if that happens, right? But now that I'm in my 40s and like 41, I'm like, oh. And so now I find myself feeling more vulnerable. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and if I feel like my heart's racing, I'm like, I know it's still early, but now I'm actually thinking about that as a possibility and I'm realizing how much I don't have control over those things. So it's like, okay, how do I love my future self by the decisions I'm making now?
That's good, yeah.
And I think that really is what planning
yeah.
for the future should be about. It isn't, you can't control your circumstances. You cannot control the fact that you're going to die someday, but you can create an environment and a habit now that will help you as much as you can thrive in the future. So there's that. And then there's this idea that like the future just doesn't happen. I mean, it does, like time moves on, but like culture gets created by decisions that get made over time.
Yeah.
And
for better or for
for
worse.
better or for worse. And so it's like, what kind of future do you want to create for those that are going to come after you? And that really should influence your artwork, in the same way that like you use the farming analogy, when you plant a seed in the ground, that fruit isn't going to come until much, much later. But what seeds are you going to put in the ground with your creativity that will help shape the culture that you're in? And it's not necessarily culture that makes the news. Let's just start with your family and your immediate community. What creative decisions and efforts that you're putting into now that will somehow benefit people later? I think about like the old songs that we love. The writers that wrote those songs, like the person that wrote Wayfaring Stranger was in likelihood a horrible circumstance and was not thinking about us playing that song later. But we benefited from that. And so what are the things that you create that other people will benefit from? I don't know. Just some of my thoughts.
Some of your thoughts.
Some of my
Good
thoughts. My
Good
rambled
thoughts.
many thoughts. So thoughts about prompts for the future, for responding to that. Prompts for the future.
Go ahead, go first.
I think the first one I asked was like taking an assessment of what you are projecting into the future. Like how do you envision the future? Like even just write it out. Write out what your world and your life will look like when you are 60 or 105. You can pick the age.
I think it's really fun to go back and read things that you wrote as a kid. So if you have like a box of things that you wrote or made as a kid, or even old photos, it's very it can be a good prompt. And creating something too from that childhood self. There can be great shows like the Wonder Years or the Goldbergs. A lot of those, there's an adult narrator who's then telling the story of a child of their childhood. So I think those are always a Christmas Story. I mean,
there's a sequel coming out on HBO of the Christmas Story, and it's got the original cast, and like the original kid is coming back.
Fun.
Yeah.
So those are always fun.
Side note.
Yeah, it's a good side note. And I mean, I do love sci-fi. I like sci-fi that is generally teaching a greater value. I mean, I do enjoy like spaceships and all those kind of things. But Philip K. Dick or
so good.
What's his name? The other person.
I don't know. There's a couple.
I'm blanking. I'm totally blanking on his name. But anyway, I'm sure you have one out there. Terry Pratchett's got some. Any of those who are telling stories. And a lot of times fantasy and sci-fi, sometimes they're blended. But so any of those are very helpful that are thought-provoking and intriguing about the future. George Orwell is hard to read, but
yeah.
But there's reasons why this kind of writing is so thought-provoking. So you could read something like that if you're
Those are good.
If you're into that. It's really fun to if you you could watch some of the videos online of like space, just some of the newer footage that can always be so inspiring for creativity.
Yeah. Here's another one. Write a letter to your future self. Write a letter to your older self, like writing about like what you hope for them, and ask yourself, how do you want to love that person that you're going to become? I think that could be a good one too. Yeah. So the song that we're going to do is a song I wrote earlier. It might have been early 2022, might have been last year. I don't know. We've done it once before, but we've had some time to road test it and play it quite a bit. It's a song called What If, and it's about, waking up and you have a choice to either envision a bad future or a good one. So that's what the song's about. So hope you enjoy that. We love you, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Cherish your life, it's a gift to be open. Walk in deep ways, Creator will show you. Live awake, live awake. Cherish your life, it's a gift to be open. Walk in deep ways, Creator will show you. Live awake, live awake. Awaken by sunrise, peeling your blue eyes wide. Inhale the unknown. Why should we be alive? Yeah. So much we don't know, driven by this need to control. You're troubled by daylight hours, chasing your options down. No matter how you're spinning, chance of rain you could always drown. Yeah. Dizzying voices can't seem to find what the right choice is. What if the night brings sorrow and suffering? What if the day brings laughter and loving? You will dance, you will sing, you will cry, life will break your wings. Just remember to surrender your ending. Shape our footsteps, haunted by where you've been. You're stuck at a standstill, wish you could go back again. Yeah, with so much we now know, except when we need to let go. But what if the night brings sorrow and suffering? What if the day brings laughter and loving? You will dance, you will sing, you will cry, life will break your wings. Just remember to surrender your ending. Cherish your life, it's a gift to be open. Walk in deep ways, Creator will show you. live awake, live awake. Cherish your life, it's a gift to be opened. Walk in deep ways, Creator will show ya. Live awake, live awake. And what if the night brings sorrow and suffering? What if the day brings laughter and laughing? Oh, what if the night brings oh, what could the day bring? You will dance, you will sing, you will cry, life will break your wings. Just remember to surrender and cherish your life. It's a gift to be open. Walk in deep ways, Creator will show you. Live awake, live awake. Oh, cherish your life, it's a gift to be open. Walk in deep ways,